Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about what I've been carrying for the past year. This right here is the Sig Sauer P365 XMacro Comp. When I bought this, it also came with the Romeo Zero Elite red dot, so I'm going to cover that in this review as well today. So let's talk a little about what the features of this gun are that made this unique, especially a year ago when this first came out. Start with the magazine. So this is a 17+1, which for a compact gun, that is a lot of capacity. Most other compact, you're looking at like 12 to 15. I know my wife, her P365, I think she has the X, that only has 12 rounds. My Glock 19, that's only 15. So for something this size to get 17 rounds in a magazine, that was a big deal. The other thing that Sig really changed that made this gun stand out was they added an integrated comp in the front here. Now, at the time, when I first heard about this, obviously there was so much hype about this gun. I fell for it. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it definitely caught my attention because before this, I was carrying a Glock 19 for years, which a lot of you probably have Glock. Nothing wrong with Glock, but it is chunky. And carrying that in certain positions is not always comfortable. With the P365, you get a very, very narrow handgun, which for me is perfect. Like, the way that grip is right there, let me see if you guys can see that. That grip is, I love how thin that is. I know some people who they really prefer a thicker grip, but not me. I guess depending on the gun. You know, I do have a 1911 and that grip is pretty chunky and I do love that. But I don't know, my Glock, I never really loved it. I love the reliability of it, but the size of this, it just fits perfectly in my hand. So let's see, what else can we talk about? The red dot. This is probably the only negative I will have to say about this gun because it wasn't what I chose, it was just what happened to be on the gun when I bought it. If I were to do this all over, I would probably just get the plate and then go and get a Trigicon RMR CC. I actually may eventually still do that anyway. But what I don't like about this red dot right here is, you can see, it hangs over a good amount. And that's mostly because it has this metal protector on it, which is cool. But for concealed carry, I want as small, as compact as possible. What else I don't like about that is the button to change the brightness is all the way inside there. So to get my finger in there to change it, and not to mention the button itself, it's kind of squishy. Don't really tell whether you're actually hitting that button. So anytime I have to mess with the brightness on this, it's a huge pain. And lastly, the other thing I do not like, and I'm gonna have a biased comparison because all the other optics I have a very nice tactile, audible click when you adjust them. This here, nothing. It's just an Allen key and you're really kind of guessing. So when zeroing this, it's less than ideal. Not to mention the one thing that I know these optics in general have gotten a lot of hate on is their battery life. They kind of suck. This one I think is on its second battery in a year, and I know my wife's P365. She also has, I don't think it's the Elite. I think it's the model before this, but that thing is chewed through batteries. I couldn't tell you how many batteries I put in that in the past 4 years. It's just, it kind of gets obnoxious, especially if you're going to take the time to go re-zero it, make sure it's still set, and yeah, one less thing I would want to worry about. Another cool feature with this is you do have suppressor height sights, which can co-witness. They are also glow sights, which is pretty nice if you're ever in the dark or at night outside. Do like the rail. Sorry guys, I kind of wrote a script for this and I chose not to read it. I went over a little bit and trying to remember everything I had on there. So the optic rail down here, I do like that a lot. It gives a lot more options for this particular handgun, but depends on what you want to do, because obviously you're dealing with a shorter barrel. I don't know if I would necessarily throw something larger on there like an X300, kind of might be a little obnoxious. Still haven't bought a light for this yet, mainly because I've already had several holsters for this, and if I add a light, then I got to do all the holsters again. Obviously, I just got my new holster from Tier 1 Concealed, so I don't know if I'll necessarily add a light to this gun. I also always carry a light on me, so it's a little redundant, but I definitely see the pros of having it, because obviously every other gun I have, particularly rifles, I always throw a light on it. So it's probably about time I just add a light. The only other thing I can say I'm not a huge fan of with this, because I will say with the comp, with the larger grip than normal P365, this thing shoots really damn good. For being a compact, some might say it's a micro, it doesn't have that snappiness, mostly because the comp and the extended grip, so you can get a full hand on there. But that's the one thing I do like about this a lot, is comparing this to smaller handguns, and eventually I'll do a video comparing this directly to my wife's P365 X. That thing is snappy, but this really changed the game for it. Do I have any regrets buying this? Absolutely not. I love this. I feel extremely comfortable carrying this. I feel peace of mind carrying this. I've taken this to the range, let's see, had it a year now. I'd say at least 10 times. Every time I go, I put at least 100 rounds through it. So the round count for me is getting pretty high. I've shot in all sorts of different ammunition through it. I've never had an issue with this. It's part of the reason why I started getting more Sig Sauer stuff, because it's just, they're reliable. Let's talk about the only other thing I don't truly love, the trigger. I'm not a trigger snob. The only thing I can really compare this trigger to is one of my Kimber 1911, and obviously recently shooting 2011s, that's going to make me extraordinarily biased. But even before that, the take up on this is a lot. I'm not really, and it's just, I don't know. I wanted to like it. I don't know. I just don't love the trigger on this gun. I don't know if I'd actually go out of my way and change the trigger. Definitely works, but yeah, I don't want to make it all pros. I got to be real with you guys. I got to be honest about, you know, what is not great about it. And don't get me wrong, like the trigger is not bad, but when you shoot 1911s, and especially after recently shooting 2011s, yeah, it's gonna take a little while to fall back when I was shooting this again after that. But I think I covered all the features that are on this. It definitely, at the time a year ago, it came with a lot of features that other guns didn't have. I think still comparatively, it has a lot of features that other guns don't have. Would I recommend this gun? Absolutely. for my hands and for comparison's sake, mechanics gloves I wear a size large, so maybe that is large to some of you guys, maybe it's not large, but for me personally, this fits so good. My grip is so comfortable with this, it makes shooting it so comfortable, which gives you that peace of mind, you know, God forbid you ever need to use it. But yeah, honestly, the only things I'll change is I'll probably change out this red dot and eventually add a light. That's about it. But this will continue to be my everyday carry, at least until I get a staccato. Then we'll see how that goes. But hey, thanks for watching. If there's something I missed or something you guys want me to answer specifically, please drop it down below and I'll get right back to you guys. Have a good one.